Great, thank you. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment just to recognize the countless hours and the volunteerism that you put into communities you serve. Truly, I've been in this province 9 years now, and I'm always still amazed about the commitment of everybody in all parts of the province. I know there's many issues to tackle in your communities, not unlike SaskPower's issues. If I just like to see a show of hands, who got up this morning and was thinking about their power? Right, that's a bit of a problem. Not too many at all, if any. I'd like to start off by showing you a short video where we ask ordinary customers to think about the impact of power has on their lives, their businesses, and the community. So if you watch your monitors, we'll show you a quick video here. I could, yeah, sure, right? I hope they're getting it ready. I could say something about my poor Hamilton Tiger Cats, but I won't. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I also picked Denver, too, so I don't have a good track record. The games are about as exciting as each other. Are we going to be able to do it, or should I carry on? I can't know where I'm looking. Better carry on? Did I get a signal? Oh. The comment up here, the power's out, yes. Am I doing good? Oh, he says points at me 1 minute, so. Okay. I'm going to carry on, right? This is like sort of asking your wife for permission to do something, right? She might say yes, but you really don't know if you really should do it or not, right? It's coming. Oh. That's the start of it. Okay, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Oh, here you go.
My name is Nicole Westerland, and I'm a mom of 2 boys. I'm married to David, who is a very busy chef, and we have a pretty crazy life.
Our family is definitely a busy family. Just driving the kids back and forth from school, driving the kids to their sports events. It's managing their schedules and trying to fit in some fun for us too.
Owen is 11 and he's in grade 6 and he is soccer crazy. Adam is 9 going on 10. It's hard to believe. He's going to be an architect or an engineer because he's just always building. David and I actually met here in Regina. We moved to Vancouver about 2.5 years ago. We decided to come back.
We have seen exceptional growth in our province, and we've seen that 77% of the newcomers that are settling in Saskatchewan are settling in our cities, towns, and villages.
When we came back to Saskatchewan, it was definitely a totally different place.
The economics of Saskatchewan have really changed over the past 10 years, I would say. We're becoming more cosmopolitan.
There's cute shops, there's great restaurants, there's coffee shops to go to, and places to go out and eat, which is really nice. We're just trying to keep on top of all the little things that happen with an older home and all the things you like to do to make it look the way you like and make it function for our family.
In the province, we have seen challenges with infrastructure, upgrading of our old and maintaining our old infrastructure, as well as putting in new infrastructure, and that's something that's very critical to the cities, towns, and villages of this province.
It was extremely important to us to upgrade our electrical panel. We had to do that in order to bring in the appliances that we needed, and the infrastructure we had was just not adequate. We had to upgrade it in order to be safe and to meet the needs that we have.
Well, a strong, stable infrastructure is critical to our business. We know that when we're going to pour hundreds of millions of dollars into a mining project, that we need to have the infrastructure around it. And of course, a reliable source of power is probably the most important.
In our house, if the power goes out, we just completely are lost. We can't use our Wi-Fi, we lose all our connection. You might be in the middle of doing laundry and then the washing machine is just stuck.
Well, if we had actually any sort of blackouts during a fermentation, that is literally product that would be ruined. It would be absolutely destroyed, and we would lose out on all those revenues and all those inputs that actually went into it.
Electricity is the lifeblood to our clients, and without reliable electricity, they can't deliver their products.
I just want them to be happy, and I want us to always stay healthy and have what we need.
The sun is shining brightly on Saskatchewan. Now's the time to grow our province. Let's keep moving forward. Let's keep those investments in things like SaskPower moving forward.
Well, thank you. As you can clearly see, just a footnote there, this piece here, and also you might have seen some of the messaging we did on TV, radio, and newspaper. All of this is done by internal employees, with even the voiceovers internal. So we're quite proud of that, actually, the way we're able to deliver that. You know, the province is growing dramatically. I don't have to tell you that. A few examples from SaskPower's point of view. In 2012, we hooked up 10,300 new customer connects. We are on average hitting anywhere from 12 to 13,000 new connects a year now. And that's a 14% increase over 2011. And in fact, it's a 144% increase since 2008. And again, I don't have to tell you that. In December, we had an all-time new peak, 3,543 megawatts. The thing that actually concerned us a bit, quite frankly, is that it actually went up 100 megawatts from the day before. The day before was only 3,400, and it went up 100 megawatts in one day. And in fact, from the all-time peak in January of 2013, the peak went up 230 megawatts. That is about a $700 million gas plant that you need to do that. We still have reserve, by the way, and we have good reserve. However, just to give you an idea of what the growth of this province is doing. And one note is that 1 megawatt will power about 1,000 homes. We're prepared for it for the future. We do have production in place. We do have power production on hand now, and we've got plans for the future. All this activity, including industrial activity and the construction and the population growth, actually now indicates that our summer peak is approaching our winter peak, which again puts in another issue altogether laying on tap. The use of power in the communities you serve, we all have mines, we all have multiplex facilities, more schools, more offices, and the list goes on and on and on. The bottom line, we're seeing a need for more power, more often, in more places by more people. Consider how the Westland family in the video is using power differently than the generation it came to before. Everybody has all kinds of new TVs, wireless devices, appliances. Not unlike other families, they have made household electronics, smartphones, video on demand. They rely on their computers, their work, school, shops, and stores that are open 7/24. And these are different than we used to deal with. And what will the next generation want? What will the kids, Owen and Adam, Westland, want in the future? What will their power needs be? There's electric vehicles on the horizon, possibly, for this province. Smart homes and programs that push the button and you can have and program your home. All this is not possible, it's already happening. At SaskPower, we're aware of the continued responsibility to power the communities that you lead. But in order to do that, we have enormous, serious challenges to tackle. We expect demand for power to increase by more than 30% over the next 20 years and double between now and 2050. That's what I really want to talk to you about today, how we meet the future power needs of a growing and dynamic province, and how we will not slow the province down. How do we continue to grow the demand for reliable, affordable, and sustainable power? This slide shows you the difference between what SaskPower generates and what is being consumed. Historically, we've had all the power we need, but we need to make decisions today to keep the cap from growing down the road. Right now, in the near term, we're making decisions that will fill the gap in the 2019 with new gas and wind generation. Our next step further down the road will be to make decisions around carbon capture and storage, as well as additional gas generations. In the long term, we're making a plan to fill the gap we see coming in 2033 and beyond. But one thing is certain, we can't continue to operate the same way we used to. This growing challenge demands more from us, and our customers expect more from us. Working to meet growing demand from customer expectations is like pushing a cart uphill with square wheels. It's impossible to do when your equipment isn't up to the job. You know what it's like. You face infrastructure challenges all the time. They're often things your residents can't see, and such as aging facilities need upgrade. Our challenge is not as complex because our customers don't see our challenges, very similar to what you deal with. Customers expect the power to be on when they flick the switch. That's what matters most. People don't consider what happens beyond that. Our system is very old by industry standards. It's the second oldest in the country. Nearly 40% of our unplanned outages are now due to aging equipment. We have over 1.25 million wooden poles. That's more than there's people in the province. The average age of those poles is almost 38 years old. Their life expectancy is 50. In fact, a quarter of our distribution poles were built in the 1950s and are past due already. If all we do is replace these poles at the existing rate, it's going to take us 20 years to get the ones from the 1950s taken care of. And then we'll be right back where we started. We maintain 308 meters of power line, more than 2 football fields per customer. Ontario maintains about the same amount of lines, but they have 14 million customers compared to our 500,000. Being spread out adds an additional challenge. Those lines are operating at an absolute limit. We know there are concerns about reliability in the north. We need to address that. We can't continue as we have been doing. That's why we're working with Black Lake First Lake Band to propose a Taizitwe hydro facility. That's about a 50 megawatt hydro facility up on Black Lake, which would be a true run-of-the-river facility. We also have 300 kilometers of transmission line projected between Island Falls and Key Lake. These projects are in place to address our northern customers and serve growing industrial need. Meeting future power requirements with our aging system is not a situation we can't just slap a Band-Aid on. It's not going to go away. The future of your communities depend upon how SaskPower is doing and what it needs to be done. Your communities can't function and grow with increasing outages. The Westlands can't get ready for work and school, prepare meals, do schoolwork, and get work done around their home without power. To top it off, we all know what it's like to experience severe weather. Take a look at what happened in Toronto in December. I actually, quite frankly, lived through that. My son lives in downtown Toronto at Bayview in Eglinton, a very nice neighborhood. His power went out the Saturday evening and he didn't get power back till Christmas Eve in Toronto. And there's not much you can do when power is out for 4 days, even in the city of Toronto. Wilder weather events are to be expected. They're not going to go away. Not only are our customers going to have to deal with outages caused by aging infrastructure if we don't act now, but they'll also deal with weather-related outages that will happen regardless of what we do. When there's an outage, the public reaction is swift. This is a sample of what we saw on Twitter recently after the windstorms in mid-January. Our customers take power seriously, and as you tell from the Twitter feed, are very unhappy when it's not there. I want to reinforce that while there is no cause for alarm today, there is cause for action. And as you know, nothing comes free. There is no way around this if we're going to be in a position to support our future customers. So what does the future hold? Our system currently produces power through the following generation: about 37% coal, 37% gas, about 20% hydro, and 5% wind. We have other biomass, cogeneration, and heat recovery at a small amount. That's where we are today, but that's not going to cut it down the road. Let's throw another factor that needs to be considered. Conventional coal, as we know it, is over. It's done. Federal government regulations on greenhouse gases mean we must find new ways to generate power in our province. To meet our challenges, we need to think new ways. We don't have all the answers yet, but we will consider all available options, and we will need to be innovative. Current projects include the carbon capture and storage project at Boundary Dam, which will cut CO2 emissions in Unit 3 by about 90%, or approximately 1 million tons of CO2 a year. That's equivalent to taking about 250,000 cars off the road annually. We also have the expansion at Queen Elizabeth Power Station and a new wind facility at Chaplin. Renewable power sources definitely have a place in SaskPower future plans. While we need a diverse mix of options, we understand that the development of cleaner generation is crucial for the future. One avenue we're exploring is geothermal. We have an agreement with a deep earth company, Production Corp, based here in Saskatchewan, to study the feasibility of a small-scale geothermal generation. Geothermal's ecological footprint is small, and the technology produces nearly zero emissions. Sources such as wind and solar most definitely have their uses, but we can't rely on them solely to power the province efficiently. It's still pretty dark here in the wintertime, and it's still pretty darn cold, so we have to be pretty cautious of how we recommend going forward with solar. Also with wind. I can tell you at the opportune time we sell power into Alberta, and we were able to sell power into Alberta as much as $1,000 a megawatt in the summertime because there was no wind. So we made some good money, by the way. But if you know of any way to use snow as a base load, we're all in. It's been a cold winter, but anyways. Not as much snow as last year, but we're good. We need to spend about $1 billion a year to get the job done. For the first time since 1996, we're holding our cost of operations, maintenance, and administration stable. In other words, we increased the asset value of the corporation by $1.3 billion in 2013, and we ran the business with the same level of cost that we ran it in 2012. That's the first time since 95-96. But even with these efforts to manage costs, rate increases are inevitable. There's no getting around it, so let's talk about it. Without the proposed rate increases, SaskPower will suffer net losses and no longer be self-sustaining, something we take very seriously. Customers will also face larger price increases in the future, and that is something we certainly want to avoid. When you compare SaskPower to utilities that use similar thermal sources like coal and natural gas, SaskPower customers pay rates that are on average 18% lower than other areas. So our electricity costs remain competitive and account for about 2% of your average household annual expense. Your electricity accounts for about 2% of your annual household expense, while powering 98% of what makes you live and comfortable. That's right in line with our neighbors in Alberta and Manitoba, It's closer to the 1.6 with from Ontario, but well lower than the eastern provinces. In 2014, about 41% of what you pay for power will go towards building infrastructure, new infrastructure. We're using our income primarily to meet the challenges of an aging system combined with growing demand. SaskPower needs to support your communities. We need to meet the challenge. We're investing in our future, and it's now. We are doing our part. You work hard for your money. We will work hard and use it the right ways. We have a business renewal program that's going to allow us to save $2 billion over the next 10 years by things better and smarter while improving our customer service. We're looking at all parts of the operation to take costs out. Just an example, improvements in our Customer Connect process will save us $36 million annually and allow us to get to you faster. Changes to our borrowing capital structures will bring in about $63 million savings. In other words, we're just borrowing smarter. We have a number of information technology initiatives that result in $12 million savings. We will have to do things differently than we've done before to be efficient and effective. I have no doubt as municipal leaders, you've had to do things differently to stretch local tax dollars to provide services. Maybe that means shared bulk purchase agreements, job shares. There are a number of possibilities. We also need our customers to find a way to make decisions about the power they're using. Think about the Westerlands. If SaskPower shows them little ways to save, it can add up. Give them a block heater timer. Give them ability to recycle an old fridge. Smart changes can go very far. If you visit our trade show booth here, you'll have a chance to learn about programs we offer to help municipalities conserve as well. But conservation is only one way we're meeting their future challenges. We must look at innovation in other ways. In transmission services, we're replacing cable with fiber optics. This lets our designs be more efficient. It also reduces installation costs and test times and allows for remote troubleshooting. The level of innovation is catching the eye of the utility industry across North America. Universities are now asking us to teach the application of this new technology. We've also purchased a drone, believe it or not, to assist us with our remote line inspection. You know these remote things? They're much cheaper than sending a helicopter up all the time. It's a new day, and we're looking for new ways. Let me take a minute to reflect. This doesn't look like SaskPower used to know, because it's not. We're not the same. It might take some people a little bit uneasy and uncomfortable. The reality is the new customer requires a new SaskPower because it is the power to grow. We have an outstanding team of employees across the province who are on board as a team, ready to take this new era on. If there's one thing I want you to know as our time wraps up, is this: things have changed, and SaskPower is changing with them. We have an infrastructure challenge to meet, investment to make, and a future to plan on. Thank you for your past and future support. We can't do what we need to do without you. If you have any questions or something on your mind, I'll be available shortly in the conference room 6. We would love to talk to you about your concerns or your suggestions. It's an amazing time to be part of this province and part of SaskPower. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Robert. I see from your video that when I get retired from politics, I have another career waiting for me in the acting industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the sector reports will be at 1 o'clock in this room. And I want to remind you that after the lunch break, this is your last opportunity to visit the trade show. It will be closing up right away. Lunch is ready now, and as the same as yesterday, Queensbury staff will be coming to your table to get you for lunch. Thank you. See you here back 1 o'clock sharp.